youth liberty organisation has been banned from participating at a university orientation week, or O Week I call it from my old days, because of its stance on climate change. Student members of Generation Liberty, the youth wing of the Institute of Public Affairs, have been barred from running a stall at Monash University's O Week by the student union, and university management claims it's powerless to step in. For more on this, I'm joined now from Melbourne by the National Manager of Generation Liberty, Renee Gorman, and also with me in Melbourne, Monash student and Generation Liberty member, Mr Tom Ellis. Tom, I'm going to go to you first if we can. Explain for my viewers exactly what's happened here. Why have you been cancelled by Monash University?
Well, as you said, in February, we approached the student union asking for a stall at O Week so that we'd be able to get ourselves out on campus, have students be able to see us there, to get members. This is where the majority of student organisations get the bulk of their membership from. And so attending there would let us build a network to establish ourselves on campus for the first time. And that stall was rejected by the MSA, the Student Association. And so we haven't been so much cancelled as we haven't been allowed to exist in the first place.
All right, now, so people at home who haven't been to university, there's like dozens, hundreds of stalls. There's every club under the sun out there, every political movement to the far, 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 far left. Basically very little on the right, but nonetheless, they're all out there. What was the reason Monash gave you, Tom, as to why you couldn't run this stall?
Their reasoning was that the IPA's position on climate change constituted misleading and deceptive conduct. Really, we're pretty sure if it wasn't that reason, it would be any other number of political things that they disagreed with. It's pretty clear that students on the Monash Student Association have their own political views, and they're willing to flex the muscles they've been given there to make sure that any conflicting views aren't heard on campus.
But now, this is a real free speech crisis in Australian universities. We've got Drew Pavlov up at UQ, Peter Reid at James Cook, Holly Lawford-Smith at the University of Melbourne. She's an academic who has views about gender and young people and medications that many of her colleagues there don't like. How have we got ourselves in this position as a country, for goodness sake?
Well, I think there's a number of reasons that we've ended up in this position, but mainly it has been inaction and cowardice from the administrative level and the vice-chancellors of our university. Inaction and denial, because we've heard again and again that they don't think that there is a free speech crisis on campus, but then they say that they're going to take steps to make sure that free speech is an important pillar of the university. Well, personally, I don't trust these vice-chancellors to address a problem if they don't think that it exists. And cowardice, it comes down to the fact that they continue to give in to a loud minority, whether it be at the student level or the academic level, instead of pursuing what university is supposed to be about and having a diverse range of views. The majority of students want a diverse range of views on campus. Our research has proven this. The Generation Liberty research of a survey on campus has shown that 82% of students think that all views should be shown on campus. Only 2% of students disagree with this. By Monash not acting on this, they are siding with that 2%, that loud minority who want to censor ideas, and not siding with the majority of students who want the opportunity to hear all views.
But it's a totalitarian state sort of stuff. I mean, Tom, you're the third year of your degree, Arts Commerce. They tell me you've been at Monash for some time, obviously. Is this the first time you've felt your free speech has been shut down, or that you've been targeted because of your views?
No, it won't surprise you to learn that most students and academics as well tend to be quite left-wing. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not uncommon for me to find myself as the lone defender of the federal government or the Liberal Party or any sort of centre-right ideals against the class and a tutor that all seem to be speaking in unison about how terrible they are. Just this week, I remember being in a class and people were discussing how Scott Morrison and the federal government are the worst things that have ever happened to this country. And it's not even a conservative or a right-wing opinion to think that you know, maybe the Liberal Party isn't some force for evil and inequality in the world. I think any student that was even just a centrist or a centre-left student would also find themselves on the receiving end of a lot of this criticism and hostility.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with those views. I have no issue with those views, Renee and Tom, but I just think they need to be contested. They need to be views that everyone can debate and, form their own opinions, put out there and take on. But clearly that's not the case. Thank you for your time, Renee. Keep the good fight up. And Tom Ellis, well, you're a brave man coming on a show like Credlin here on Sky News, but clearly you've got your head above the parapet. If you're prepared to fight on this issue, keep it up.
Thanks,
keep it up.